I'm Ameerah, I'm from Mauritius, and today I will be introducing you to Mauritian Creole literature through a reading of Misyon, Garson by Lindsey Collen. I'll give you some contextual information first. So, Mauritius is a small island near South Africa, and despite being so small, it's very linguistically complex because it was colonized 4 times by the Portuguese, the Dutch, the French, and the British. And the ancestors of modern day Mauritians were also brought as enslaved people from East Africa, indentured laborers from South Asia, and small traders from China. So Mauritian Creole is basically a French-based Creole, but it's also been influenced by all of these other languages from East Africa, like Malagasy and Swahili, from South Asia, like Tamil and Bhojpuri, and even from Chinese languages like Hakka and Cantonese. Nowadays, Mauritius is basically a triglossic country. We use 3 languages every day: Mauritian Creole, French, and English. And French and English are still associated with colonial prestige. So, unfortunately, even if close to 90% of all Mauritians use Creole as their main language, it's still considered the less prestigious language. As for the history of Mauritian Creole literature, the first Mauritian Creole, or the earliest Mauritian Creole literature, at least written literature, dates back to the mid 19th century, when some writers compiled folk tales and puns in writing. But Mauritian Creole literature really saw a boom in the 1970s when there were leftist and post colonial student movements. The first Mauritian Creole novel was actually written by a woman writer in the 1970s. Her name was Renée Asghar Ali, and the novel's name is Quand montagne prend y feu, When the Mountain Catches Fire. From the 70s to the early 2000s, there were a few prominent Mauritian Creole writers, notably Ameerah Arjanee and Lindsey Collen, whose book I have here. Ameerah Arjanee translated Shakespeare into Creole. He also wrote many original plays, stories, and poems in Mauritian Creole. As for Lindsey Collen, she's mainly a novelist. And what's interesting about her is that she self-translates. So what she does first is write her novel in Mauritian Creole and then translate her own work into English. In the case of Misyon, Garson, it was published in Creole in 1996, and then Collen herself translated it into English in 2004 to be published by Bloomsbury. And what's interesting is that in the translation, she changed a few things. So the Creole version of the book is not exactly the same as the English translation. In the English translation, she added a few details like characters, a few paragraphs. She might have eliminated a few sentences. She added modern details like cyber cafes. So the excerpt that I will read today in Creole is not exactly the same as the translated excerpt in Creole, even if it's 85% the same. As for more modern day, more current Mauritian Creole writers, some of them are Sedley Hassan, who's mainly a poet, and Mélanie Pérez, who's a very young Mauritian Creole novelist. Some of her novels have been translated into French, but none of them have been translated into English yet. And in general, that's the situation with Mauritian Creole literature and translation. Most of it is still untranslated. Some of it has been translated into French, and very little of it has been translated into English yet. So the novel I will read from, Misyon, Garson, it's one of my favorite novels. It's about an 18-year-old boy who goes into an existential crisis when he finds out that he's failed his high school exams. That crisis makes him want to go on a bus journey around the island to be able to leave the cocoon of his family and his school. And on that bus journey, he meets different people, like a sex worker, the driver himself, a cop, vegetable sellers, cake sellers, and they make him realize that the world is much bigger. And he also develops class consciousness through this. So I will read a few paragraphs at the beginning when he's in his dad's taxi and he hasn't embarked on his own journey yet. He's just looking at teenage boys outside the window and thinking about his own life. Quand nous allons pas là, en famille, mon papa, mon maman, moi, mon papa souffert, naturellement. Li qu'on dirait, bien bon, li normal. Qui ken bisa qu'on dirait, les là ça commencé. Nous arrêter pour manger kitseuse? Li bisa demandé. Li comment dire on sens les à manger. Les là moi avec mon maman, nous négocier. Quand fini manger, roule encore. Les là mon maman soit moi, nous bisa demander. Est-ce qu'il m'a capable de faire pipi? Tous affaires bisa passe par li. Même manger, même al dehors. Allah qui m'a pensé l'eau sur le tout. M'a guette par la fenêtre. M'a sais oublier résultat. M'a assise par derrière. On dirait mon papa m'a souffert même. M'a commence trouve les autres garçons le beau cimé. Zot aussi l'ont cimé alcoolise pour ce résultat. Depuis Carole Aliane jusqu'à la Saint-Zos pour lui, m'a guette zot. Moi m'a peux assisé, fermé en dents. Moi m'a peux passer, renfermé derrière un vite l'auto. Comme si dirait les papes. Lui aussi paraît un prisonnier parfois. Dans son papa mobile, même dans son Vatican là-bas. On dirait ena bandimoun qui donne l'ordre, faire l'ici qui l'écoule comme ça. Li roule pour eux. Moi, mon pas connaît pour qui m'a roulé. Mon papa, li là, m'a souffert. Li peut assisé droit derrière volant ce taxi. Li fait à ce garçon à li fier à ce garçon à un bon collège. Boudjouari Medkou. Li avec mon maman trouve ça un bon collège. Moi aussi me trouve un assez bon collège. D'ailleurs, la plupart des enfants pas le collège du tout. Tout ça là, me connaît, mon conscient. Maurice guette zot même, ban les autres garçons. Zot aussi l'eau s'y met à collège. Mais pas comme moi. Zot al pas bis, zot al pas bicyclette, zot marché, zot prend tout qualité s'y met, zot vini. Ici, un peut galoper, là-bas des trois pécas pose le pont, un l'autre groupe peut faire un tchak en bas arcade. Un peut même marcher ensemble et un tifi. Un groupe peut danser rap de temps en temps à mes yeux zot aller. Zot traîner partout zot. Qu'est-ce ça des trois là? Zot peut gagner fou rire au milieu de la rue. Allah zot décide pour rentrer dans ta basie. L'autre peut dibout le pont, peut gagner tifi passer. L'autre peut manger et grère côte maçon. Mange comme confit en dit le piment, dit sa cause zot décide pour faire li. Zot peut manger comme confit en dit le piment en plein air. Pour un prisonnier comme moi, ça paraît comme un dia paradis. Mon rêve ça, mange comme confit en dit le piment en plein air. Mo guette zot depuis par derrière mo vite le tour, à travers vite. Mon maman dit, si à mon ban là mange saucisse. Depuis mo petit motan ça, mange saucisse. Quand un jour mo mange saucisse, mo espérais ni un bon saucisse. Parce qu'à force mon maman fin faire réclame saucisse, mo fin développe great expectations. Pourtant, mo les dire, mo pas trouve aucune logique là-dedans, nous mange c'est vrai. Mon maman pas trouve ça drôle, li. Saucisse, li dire. T'as pas connais qui ban là mettait là-dedans. Qu'est-ce que tu connais? Vrai. Mais c'est vrai qu'il fin manger, li. Laisse tomber. Ban causé inutile. Ban les autres garçons, zot aussi, pe al ce résultat. Qu'est-ce ça ban là pe fout à paz? Zot pe faire ce qui zot envie. Parfois, en là-dedans, ni fouette so casquette l'eau la tête so camarade. So now I'll read the translation of the same excerpt. Of course, there are some changes in the English translation. 1 second. When we go out as a family, my father and mother and I, some family, it's naturally my father who drives. Well, someone has to. My mother can't. She wouldn't even want to. I'm only 17. So I can't even if I did want to. So he drives. Then it all starts. He breaks his silence. Should we stop and have something to eat? He is kind. He is polite. But he is in charge of when we eat and where. Bottom line, he decides. And when the food part is over, it's when and where to pee. He decides on that too. Now I am sitting in the back of the car as if my father is only my driver. And off he drives. There are two kinds of taxi drivers, one that drives too fast and one that drives too slow. My father is the kind that drives too slow. Gradually, out of the window, I start seeing clumps of other boys under leafy roofed skies, gravitating like me to different boards full of exam results, all over the fucking country. So, why am I so different? From Carolalian to Saint-Zos Road in Port Louis, I watch them. They are in groups, for a start, loud talking bunches. They are walking, walking, walking. Meanwhile, I am sitting, closed in behind glass windows, floating past them in the car. My dad, as always, sitting bolt upright behind the steering wheel, his dark glasses now wrapped around his face. He only brings them out once the passenger is firmly behind him. Can't put a passenger off, he says. He is proud of me. College boy. HSC exams. He thinks I go to a good school, Bloomsbury Medco. He thinks I'll do well in the exams. As we get nearer, I begin to see my own classmates from Bloomsbury Medco. There's a big magnet pulling at us all. Iron. Towards the dreaded board. But for me, it's not like for them. They catch buses, they ride bicycles, they walk. They've got choices. Which street to go down, where to stop, what speed to go at. One well-built athletic boy called Jean-Pierre suddenly runs and takes a flying leap really high and grabs a late mango from a tree leaning over onto the pavement. Just because he wants to. We pass three boys who used to sit in the back of the class. They slouch over the handrail of the canal bridge, looking down at only they themselves know what, under it. Another group is disappearing into a neon-lit shopping arcade, in broad daylight, into the cyber cafe, a detour. Look at Devesh, walking with his hand almost holding the hand of that girl who is walking next to him. They accidentally keep touching one another. I watch their hands. Makes me feel excited. Stupid, isn't it? But what can you expect from someone closed up in a car? 4 boys from the art class do a quick rap dance in the street. Look at them. My father has to step on his brake. Now they saunter, yes, they saunter, into the tobacconists. One lone boy, Zeal, leans against the wall of an advertising agency and watches girls, students passing by. Another one eats pickled green mango at a mango and cucumber seller's tricycle. Imagine eating a bit of pickled cucumber with salt and chili just because you want to. As for me, I can only watch them through the car window, through glass darkly. My mother says they probably eat sausages. She says you never know what they've put in them. Could get mad cow disease, she says. Pork in them, she says. Chi. You never know, she says, insinuating it's dog meat or cat meat in them, or eel or snake meat, or the flesh of newborn monkeys. Or worse still, beef. One boy pulls the cap off a friend's head and puts it back to front on his own. Friend. That's another word that gets to me. It affects me. Friend. My chest tightens. My throat constricts. I lean back on the car seat, sweat gluing my shirt to it, trying to escape from the effect of that one syllable.